Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for April 14th, 2025. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, let's do a geometry pass real quick, just see if I see anything good here. 257. Yeah, we can place it. No, we can't. Sorry. I don't know. We can almost place it too. It's in one of two places. I saw that wrong at first. Way too excited. All right, 6, 7, 8. We already have a 6 in this column. 7 is really interesting because we have these two 7s. Basically 7's in one of these two, right? But 7 can also be down here. If we had a 7 over here somewhere, that would be gold. We'd have a hidden single 7 there. Anyway. 6, 7, 8 against here is no good. 2, 5, 9. Haha! We have our standard New York Times trick. In fact, we can place the 9. Let me know if you see how we can place a 9 before I continue. Feel free to pause. All right, so we have our standard New York Times trick. I'm going to make this green. I'm going to make these guys purple. So the green digits, we'll call 259 the 3 green digits. Where do the 3 green digits go in column 4 here? Because we need 3 cells. We need to be able to color 3 cells green. The ones I've marked in purple are not. They're 6, 7, 8. They're not 2, 5, or 9, so we can't color those green. And we can't color any more cells green in the same box as the 3 green cells. Because, basically, if you think about it, because 2, 5, and 9, there's 3 distinct digits, we're calling those green. Every row, every column, and every box will have exactly 3 green cells in it. Hopefully that makes sense. Now these gray cells, actually, let's make them blue. These blue cells are not green and they're not purple. And there's 9 total digits. So they're not, they would be the 3 blue digits, right? And so we have to fit 3 green digits in this column, and there's only 3 places they can go. So we can actually color this entire column. We can make, we called these purple, just kind of by definition, we made those purple. And then these are blue because they're not green or purple. And so then the greens go here. So what I'm seeing in my scanning is essentially this. I'm seeing, okay, 2, 5, and 9, they're not here. These aren't it either. There's only 3 places for them. So this is where 2, 5, 9 goes. So we can say this is where the green cells go. So we know that every single one of these cells needs to be one of the green digits, a distinct one. And this cell here cannot be 2 or 5. I can mark those green if you'd like. I'm not going to go through every digit and mark the color, but you can see this row has only room for 1 more green cell. It's got the 2 and 5 already. And so this has to be the 9. It has to be the 3rd green cell. And now these two are a 2, 5 pair. We don't know which one's 2 and which one's 5. And then we can find out what the 3 blue cells are because it's just none of the rest of these, right? So it's the 1, 3, and 4, it looks like. And that one's not a 3. So if we wanted, we could continue this whole puzzle coloring all of the green, purples, and blues, but that's not going to be helpful beyond what we just did. Except to note that this box has 3 blues and 3 greens, so it needs 3 purples. And so this is going to be the 6, 7, 8. And notice this cell here can't be 6 or 8. There's already 2 purples in this row. So this has to be the 7. It's the only purple left. And then this is going to be a 6, 8 pair. So we just got a ton of digits by noticing that, what I call geometry. I'm not the only one who calls it geometry, by the way. But I do. And so what we're doing is we're looking at kind of the shape of the grid, and we're taking multiple givens together as one grouping. And then you kind of see if you're looking at it shape-wise, you can recognize these using your kind of shape recognition system in your brain instead of just individually scanning stuff. Cool. So I am going to get rid of these colors, but that was quite handy. So that's a very nice seed to what we're doing. I'm not going to follow up on these yet, simply because we're gonna do that when we scan the bands. I think the only thing I'm gonna do is notice we have 6, 8 here and 6, 8 here, and this isn't 6, 8, so the 6, 8 end up here. I don't know if there's anything else like crazy wild to mark here, and I don't think I should. So I'm just gonna look to see if we have any more like that. So here we've got 3, 6, 9, and at first, like if we just do geometry, like we ignore the digits, it's a candidate to do the same thing we just did. But unfortunately, if we actually reveal the numbers, we can see that the 3 is a repeat. So really all we have to do is place the 6 and 9 in these 3 cells. Now, it's not hopeless because we could think about, okay, well, is there any cell that can't be both 6 and 9? Because if a cell can't be both 6 and 9, then we can still say the other 2 cells must be the 6, 9 then. Unfortunately, what we've got here is we've got this can't be 6 and this can't be 9. But no cell that can't be both. But what we can do is we can say, okay, that means 6 is in one of these 2 cells. All right. But unfortunately, I didn't give it. Now we can also compare against this row, and it's got the same formation, right, that we were seeing up here. Unfortunately, it's the 9 this time that repeats. We need 3 and 6 in these 3 places. Now, we can see that there is no cell that can't be both 3 and 6, but we can see that these 2 cells can't be 6 at all, right? So we could have seen that with a normal scan, but we can place the 6 here, and that means the 3 ends up in one of these 2. All right, so this is just like, I know it doesn't seem fast, we're already 5 minutes into the puzzle, but it's because I'm taking my time and explaining exactly what I'm doing. But if I was on my own, I think in under a minute, maybe even under 30 seconds, I could have had all of this filled already. And so you get a really nice seed to the puzzle by looking for this kind of geometry. Last thing to look for is this 1, 4, 9. Unfortunately, there aren't 3 givens in this column. We can still look to see if any cell can't be all of 1, 4, 9. Unfortunately, we don't really get anything out of that. But no, now we're done with the geometry pass. We've looked for all the geometry. If I miss something, I'll see it in a later pass. But we got some really nice stuff to seed our puzzle. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do my normal scanning of each band. And we already have this good information already seeded. So the 2 5s look into here. We know that 5's in one of these 2. We have this 5 as well. Vertically, I don't think the 5 is doing anything. No. The 3, I skipped the 3, but actually we should do it because these 3's all look into here, placing this 3. And that places the 3 in this box as well. All right. Now anything looking into here? Well, 3's in one of these 2 cells. That could be handy. Just like that. The 7 and 5 are repeats, unfortunately. All right, that was the 3 and the 5. Let's do this 4, 7, and 9. The 7 has a buddy. We already marked it. Vertically, we have these 2 7s, so 7's somewhere down here. The 4 doesn't... Oh, the 4 actually, the 1, 4 pair looks down. This 4 looks down. This 4 looks in. So 4 actually does have a buddy. And we do have the 2 9s as well. And so what we have found here... Or actually, what we found here is even easier. Let me talk about what I was going to talk about before I noticed that we had this 9 here. So ignore the red 9. What I was going to say is that we have the 4s and 9s overlapping here. And that should trigger us to realize that we have found a hidden pair. Because what these corner marks are telling us, again, pretend this 9's not there. What these are telling us is that one of these 2 cells needs to be a 4, and one of these 2 cells needs to be a 9. Well, if one of them's a 4 and one of them's a 9, there's not room for anything else there. So that's a hidden pair. So this has to be 4, 9, which means this can't actually be a 3. So we can remove that 3 corner mark. We can actually move all the corner marks. And by removing that 3 corner mark, because it can't be 3, it has to be a 4 or a 9, that places the 3 in the box here. And we can follow up on that by putting a 3 in one of these 2. Now, suddenly, this 9 appeared out of nowhere, and that resolves our 4, 9 pair. So that's a 4 and that's a 9. So we could have just seen that as 2 hidden singles. We could have seen these 9s looking down with these 9s looking in, placing this 9, and then now the 4 would have been placed as well. I believe you'd have to use the column for that. Do you have to use the column for that? No. Yeah, the 1, 4 pair helps. Yeah, but you could use the column for that. That places the 4. But anyway, hidden pair is very nice to spot. And I spotted it that way. Maybe I wouldn't have spotted it the other way. I probably would have, but... Anyway, let's go back up. We were looking at 4, 7, and 9 up here. So that covered those. When I get to this box, I'll look at it a bit more closely. I think there's more going on, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I feel like if I get ahead of myself too much, I end up solving the puzzle in a weird order, and it's very hard to follow. So I'm specifically doing this because this is intended as, even though it's a live solve, it's intended as a tutorial as well. All right, 2, 5, and 7. I do not see anything to do with this. So let's move on to this band here. Let's start with this 3 and the 6, 8 pair. Yeah, so the 6, 8s are taken care of. We've got this 3, which the 3s are done as well. Okay. So how about so we don't care about 6, 8, or 3. Those are taken care of. So really it's just the 7. The 7 helps, puts a 7 in one of these 2. And then the 8... No, we already looked at the 8. So other than 3, 6, 8, let's just look at 2 here. I'm not seeing anything to do with 2. I guess 2 in this box is one of these 2. Nothing there. We've got the 5. These 5s don't really help each other at all. The 7 and the 9. I think we've taken care of everything. Actually, no, the 9 is quite helpful. And now we have this a real situation of what I was talking about with this 4, 9, which is we can mark 9s in one of these 2. So notice this is the same situation. 7s in one of these 2 and 9s in one of these 2. So that's all that can fit there. That's a hidden 7, 9 pair. So what we want to do, we want to follow up when we find hidden pairs, and we want to follow up by thinking about what was removed from these two cells. So it's quite a bit of things, and we can think about it as, what are these 4 digits? These 4 digits are the 1, 2, 4, 5. So if there's anything special about 1, 2, 4, 5 now, that's definitely worth marking. I'm not seeing a whole lot going on. I see we have a 1, 4 seeing this cell. So this is, oh, this sees 1, 2, and 4. Remember, it was 1, 2, 4, 5. This cell is now a naked 5. Let me prove why. It sees 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. I was like, where's the 4? 4. It doesn't see 5. It is a 5. Sees 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it sees all 8 digits besides the 5. So it has to be a 5. Now, can we follow up on that? Yeah, we can put a 5 in one of these two. And so now these are down to the 1, 2, 4. And I'm really not seeing anything to do with that. So we'll just fill 1, 2, 4 here. This is also 1, 2, 4, just for the row. And these are 1, 2, 4, 5 for this row. They can be anything. This row is down to 3 digits as well. We need a 1, 4, 9, it looks like. So the 9 in this row, actually, because of this 9, can only go here. And this is down to 1, 4. Yeah, now this is 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay. This 9, can we follow up? Yes. We can place the 9. Very nice. And that also places the 6 in the box. Only place left for 6. These two 9s look in. This 9 helps. Putting a 9 up here. Does the 6 do anything? Because we do have this 6 as well. Unfortunately, 6s don't seem to do quite enough. Okay, very nice though. Anything else to do in this band? It's basically marked up. The only thing I don't have marked is the 1, 2, 4, 5 here, but I don't mark 4 in a cell. Unless I absolutely have to. All right, this last band here. Let's just start with 3, 6, and 9. So 3s do look in. Whoops, let's do this right. Okay, these 3s look in. Putting a 3 in one of these two. The 6s are done. The 9s are done. So what about 4 and 8? So we do have these two 4s. It's a 4 in one of these two. We want to, when we mark the 4s like this, the only reason we didn't mark 4 here is there's a 6 sitting there. So we want to think about, where does 4 go in this column? Because we know it's not in this box, and it's not this 9. Unfortunately, it does appear to have quite a few options, but sometimes you'll find claiming or even better hidden single just by having marked that. Basically, because we didn't mark it here, that's interesting for this column. Maybe that column has something going on. It doesn't this time, but sometimes it does. All right, so that was the 4. What about 8? Yes, 8 is placed in this box, and that places the 4. Even better. So this can't be 4 anymore, so we can mark 1, 2, 5, I guess. This whole column is 1, 2, 5. The bottom one's not a 1, but otherwise, not much about that. Let's see, I got this 4, I got this 8. So 8's somewhere up here. This is just 1, 2, 5, 7. So the 7 is down here. In fact, this is just 2, 5, 7. Ah, so the 1, yeah, the 1 looking in places the 1 in the box. That's definitely a thing. 2, 5, 7. 2, 5. Okay, I think there's more low-hanging fruit, but let's get the rest of this band done first. I want to look at this box, which is 1, 2, 5, 7. The 1 looking in and the 1, 4 pair looking down places the 1, which places the 7. And this is not a 5, so that's 2 and that's 5. That gives us the 2 and the 5 up here as well. Just following the pencil marks. This is a pair. We need 5 and 8. So this 5 tells us this is 8 and this is 5. And this is a triple at worst. We need a 2, 3, 7. Each one sees something, but oops, 2, 3, 7. But that's not 2, that's not 3, that's not 7. All right, don't need the corner marks. So anytime we pencil something, we want to scan to see if we've created any kind of pair or triple or something like that. But all right, this bottom band got a lot. Let's see, is there anything? What's a good follow-up? I was looking at this column earlier. It's down to 1, 2, 4, 7. This can't be 2 or 7, so this is only 1, 4. And so now this has to be the 2, 7. It can't be 2. Yeah, there's two ways to think about it. One is we created a 1, 4 naked pair in this column, meaning this can't be 1 or 4, and it also can't be 2. So it's a naked 7. Alternatively, we need to place 2 and 7 in this column. This cell sees a 2 and a 7, and this cell sees a 2 and a 7. And so 2 and 7 have only got 2 places to go in this column, a hidden pair. But this can't even be the 2. So this has to be the 7, and that's the 2, giving us 5 and 7. That gives us the 2 here and the 5. All right. These are 1, 4. What did I miss? Oh, 1, 2, 4, 8. The 2 actually is placed in this box. And this is not 2. This is not 4. So this is 1, 8. And this is 1, 4, 8. Okay. This isn't a 2. We placed a 2 at some point in the row. So yeah, we were down to a 1, 4 pair, a 6, 8 pair, and a 7, 9 pair. Wonderful. I think we're very close. This is 6, 8. What do we need here? We do need a 1 in this column. It goes somewhere up here. So this is 1, 3, 6, 8. In fact, this is just 1, 3, 8 across here. This can't be 3, so this is 1, 6. Oops, not 3. 1, 6, 8. What did I miss? 2, 3, 1, 4, 6, 8. Surprisingly, we don't have any more low-hanging fruit to just continue. But I'm pretty sure we can anyway. Maybe I should scan. Let me think about what digits this box is missing. That might actually be helpful. We need to place a 1. That doesn't seem helpful. We have 2. We need to place a 3. We have that marked. We need to place a 4. Do the 1 and the 4 do the same thing? No, they don't. So we need to place a 4. That's not helpful. 6. No. 8. Is 8 helpful? All right. Unfortunately, focusing on this box did not get me anything. I wonder if this cell's limited, though. It's not quite a few digits that it's not. Let's just think about this cell. So it could be 1. It can't be 2, 3. I think it could be 4. It can't be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it is down to 1, 4, and that gives us a 1, 4 pair in the row. Okay, that's probably the last major spot we need. I think the rest is going to collapse. Now, just to double check, this can't be a 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so that does create a 1, 4 pair in the row. It's a naked 1, 4 pair. This can only be 1, 4. This can only be 1, 4. One of them will be 1. One of them will be 4, meaning this has to be an 8. Can't be 1, 4. Places the 1 and the 4 and the 1. So it resolves our pair. Gives us the 1, 4 here, the 4, 1 here, the 4, 2, 1 here. We finish this triple. We finish this pair, 7, 9. We can place the 3 in this box and the 3 in this box. And the 9 in this box. This is only an 8. That resolves the rest of the box, giving us the 6, 8 here. All right, and now this is a 6, giving us 8 and 6. We're left with 4, 8, which go like that, and we're done. All right, I spent like 5 minutes talking about colors and stuff. So, I think this was a really nice puzzle to demonstrate how, looking at geometry can really help speed up your game there. We found a lot of really good hiddens as we solved this puzzle. So I don't think it was necessarily as straightforward as I made it seem. I think there were a lot of really good steps in this one. So this is a really good demonstration of that. And then the finishing touch was finding this 1, 4 pair. And I knew to target this cell because it was just quite limited. Every number I was talking about, most of them were just not in this cell. And we had some corner marks that were avoiding the cell. So that kind of called itself out that way. And that gave us this nice pair to finish the job. Cool. Well, let me know how you did, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, then why not leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.